Puppy is the only one that's won on it, and that was back in the group stage. It's had 3 losses and 1 win.
We saw Silencer have a really tough time versus Brood. I know that they have Darkseer already as an offlaner, but you know, if you're Secret, you could pull a mind game. Hey, we're gonna pick Darkseer, make you not ban Brood.
I mean, Brood mid.
Yeah,
you can put the Brood mid against the Silencer if you want to.
Against Secret, you kind of have to ban the Brood. Zaya has played it so well in the group stage. It's just terrifying. And especially when you run the Silencer Naga yourself, it's not good heroes against it.
Because you're not really team fighting at all, which is where these two heroes excel. You don't even get to that phase of the game generally.
No, she just takes over and makes you play, like similarly to how we saw Teki destroy a game in last game, or yesterday. Broodmother can also just change how you play Dota. Oh, they're actually going to ban out the Luna hero that has been popularized.
I mean, to be fair, Secret has the Darkseer, which is played by the same person. So with the Brood, so there's also a likely chance that Secret would not actually want to go into the Brood.
Maybe.
I mean, they could always run it as like a 4 though, right?
You mean the Darkseer?
Yeah.
I mean, when you have Darkseer, I feel your job has to be somewhat team fight focused. Darkseer and Brood, it's like they're opposite of each other. They don't do the same thing in the game.
They crush Silencer.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Like, if you have the Brood, it's just solely for the laning purposes against the Silencer, but you have to be on that lane for that to happen.
Oh, we're gonna see a Shaker or something coming up here. They need a quick hero that can work before the silence comes off. I just wonder what they want to go for here, Secret. I think Shadow Fiend is, well, Shadow Fiend was banned. That would have been such a good hero for them to have. Something along that line could be a great carry for him.
I think maybe Spirit Breaker can work very well against Silencer, because like when the ultimate of Silencer is down, the weakness is it's a long cooldown. So you want to have heroes that take very good fights in skirmishes, fight very well in small skirmishes. So you make the best of when the cooldowns are down for the Silencer and the Naga.
Shaker.
Yeah, that's a good way to approach it. They do have the low cooldown combination though from just Fissure, Light Strike Array, Dragon Slave. That's very often enough to kill a hero. So at least they have that going now with the Shaker coming in. What do you make of this draft, Pyrian? Do you like it?
I hate Silencer with a passion. He's one of my most hated heroes to play against.
What hero do you love? Because I know you.
I love Darkseer and Earthshaker.
Yeah,
they're my jam.
So you're on Secret on this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like Lina too, but for different reasons.
All right.
Her versatility, guys. Come on.
Of course.
Keep it professional. For Christ.
Yeah, the fact that she can be mid or support. That's what you were.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Overpowered hero.
Yeah, that's
in more ways than one, because of her versatility. Anyway, Silencer. Yeah. Well, I don't like heroes like this that ruin the fact that casting spells is kind of a big part of this game. Like, if you have to get an Orchid or something, I get it. You know, you get a payoff. That's the payoff. But Silencer makes an entire team just like, well, good luck.
You can just play like Wraith King or something.
Yeah. Well, that's my jam right there. You know that.
Lone Druid, the counter.
Skeleton King.
Shout out to my man Plague. He's the best Lone Druid player I know. Apart from, you know, Bulldog.
Some tryhard. All right, so we're going to see more Rubik. I think after people saw FY, they're just going, oh, I want to play it too. You know, honestly,
there's a problem there, though. They're not FY.
Well, they can dream. They can dream. It is a very nice...
fantastic yesterday, though, as well, wasn't it?
It is a very nice game to play it, though. There's a Lina in the enemy team. There's a Shaker. Even Darkseer, you can make use of his Vacuum or his Wall in some cases. It's not terrible spells. Surge can work also early game.
Do you think like the third place Rubik pick is like saying, okay, you've got some good spells to steal, and now you probably aren't going to want to pick any more heroes that have good spells to steal? So it's sort of like a stopper.
Yeah, because Secret are kind of going into some combination draft here, right? Which is hard against the Silencer and Naga already, but now there's also Rubik to steal the big spells that are going to go into this. Because this type of draft, honestly, you wouldn't be surprised to see more huge spells coming out from Secret.
What do you do against a Silencer? Like, what's the? I mean, apart from Lone Druid, like you were saying.
Get on top of him. That's how you gotta approach it. You have to have a hero that can close the distance. That's why I like the ban by Virtus.pro to ban out the PL in the second phase. Because that's one of those heroes that are hard to deal with.
I think you can just end the game early too. Like, if they mess up one ulti, that ulti is like super long cooldown. Something like Lycan, you know, can push high ground very early.
Right.
130 seconds to end the game sometimes can be enough. Like, just one team fight outside the base where you waste ulti, you have 2 full minutes to regroup and push base. So there's a lot of pressure on the Silencer player always to time his ulti perfectly.
Yeah.
Winter, you've been very quiet. What are you thinking about?
He's strategizing.
He is.
Well, I'm thinking the same thing as Ben as well. I feel like if you have such a hard team fight to go in, you can probably just go into more split push, like what he mentioned before the Lycan. I think the Tusk here would actually mean that it's probably going to be a Tusk plus Darkseid, I feel, the double Iron Shell Snowball. And if Silencer happens to be on the safe lane, he's going to have trouble against that. It's going to be very easy to kill him.
They picked the Tusk for the same reason that you suggested a Spirit Breaker. They want initiation, they want someone to fight with low cooldown, small fight, skirmishes all over the map is what Secret seem to be going for.
Yeah, and break him down in the early lane. A lot of times we see Silencer with completely uncontested farm, and he is really weak in the early game, I would say, especially with the 0-2-2 build. Like, you're not going to be orbing people in a 3-on-3 situation because you might just die.
Nahaz isn't here, so I will bring a stat. This is one of the questions that I didn't get a chance to ask. Lina and Tusk, the most picked pairing, TI, 27 times with a record of 15 and 12.
I think a lot of it...
This job is easy. What?
It comes from LGD.
Oh, yeah?
They pick it a lot in the group and the main stage games.
It's super strong.
I'm waiting for the American sports analogy.
If you think about football, XXX, something about football. That's Nahaz. That's as good as I can do. Sorry, Nahaz. I'll practice it.
At least you didn't call it American football.
What did I call it?
You called it just regular football.
Well, he wouldn't call it American football. I don't think I've ever met an American that calls football American football, but they should. Because we all know what real football is, Paul, right? This end of the desk?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Although I have to say I kind of like the NFL.
Don't bail on it. Back me up.
Sorry.
He wants to get away from here alive. That's why.
The Magnus.
Oh, man.
So they have the RP and the song combination now, and if Rubik gets a good AoE steal as well, they can pull some nice combos here.
It's only the 7th pick at TI5 for Magnus.
It also suggests that there's going to be a melee carry coming out from Virtus Pro. If we assume it's going to be a support Naga and Rubik, then they're still looking for one carry or a mid laner. If
I think carry is much more possible for melee hero to come out right now, I feel.
Sven? Could be Sven, maybe.
Slot, we've seen Slot today. Slot is really good with Magnus, and if you look at their lineup,
Medusa, man.
Medusa.
And I mean, Illidan loves to play Slark, and with Empower, you can make so much happen. You can farm faster and get your item progression, and when Slark gets a few items, he just demolishes teams.
Yeah, and you usually say that Slot is weak against a lot of AoE, but this game they have Silencer, so when he goes in, he has that backup.
Yeah, I can bail him out.
So he doesn't have to worry, he can play very aggressive and just go in with the global silence, helping him out all the time.
That's some like dirty team fights if you think about it. If they pick Slark, they have the song, the silence, and then you have the Slark ulti as well. He would be so hard to bring down. All right.
That's really difficult for VP to deal with because she doesn't get affected really by global at all. She can just kill you through it easily.
She is great against every single hero that's picked on Virtus Pro. Best one is like Rubik. You can stop her a little bit.
20th time of picking at TI5, and so far with a 63.2% win rate.
Not bad. Impressive hero, would you say?
Well, a small sample size.
I mean, it takes the player, right?
So do you go for a melee carry now, or do you dump Silencer in the safe lane and go for something that can actually counter TA? Because Silencer does... We've seen it, I think actually VP plays Silencer versus TA. It was like okay, but Sumil ended up destroying them at the end. So I don't know how willing they are to put that matchup in the mid.
I mean, Silencer is not terrible against TA mid. You can definitely play that if you want. Oh!
Come on, guys. Come on. Come on.
That one.
Illidan.
We have another
maximum respect.
A first-time pick at TI5 as well. That's another one. 2 games in a row now. The pool is shrinking. There are only 19 heroes left in the pool that have not played at least one game.
You guys didn't even let me talk about it. Shame on you.
We'll get more afterwards.
I'll high-five you in the break.
Let's head down to the commentary team. The game number 1.
That's right, another elimination match on our hands. Virtus Pro facing up against Team Secret, who are supposed to be the favorites of this tournament, are now seeing their tournament lives on hand against VP. Blitz, you had a lot to say about this draft, starting off with the Lina carry. You had this one from the get-go. In the first 1-2, you said this is either a Lina support or a Lina safe lane farmer. Why is that?
Sorry, I saw some sign. It's
Don't get distracted by the memes.
It's all good, dude. All right, so I think part of what makes Lina such a strong opener instead of Queen of Pain is that you can run her in pretty much any lane. Like, you can run her as a carry, a support. I think it's just one of the most safe openers that you can go for. And I feel like S4 was going to play it almost guaranteed just because once the Queen of Pain is banned, I feel like those are the two heroes that he's most comfortable with at this point. Playing the Queen of Pain in the carry role, playing the Lina. They just want him to play the playmaker role more than the actual one-position hard carry like Arteezy will play. Like, even though Arteezy's in this mid lane, he's the true carry.
Right, it harkens back to the old Evil Geniuses when Arteezy was playing there, being the carry mid. It seems that's going to continue here with Team Secret. But what about this last pick from Virtus Pro, the Medusa? Hero we haven't seen hardly at all in this patch. Why is this our last pick?
I think in this game in particular, you have a lot of different ways to defend her. It's a silencer who will be playing in the mid lane, so he'll get level 6 relatively early, and he'll get a good amount of farm, but they have a lot of different ways to protect the Medusa. This is a hero that toe-to-toe can stand up against pretty much anybody on Secret. It's going to be incredibly hard for them to burst her down, even with the Luna Aghanim Scepter, and so I think it just works incredibly well for their draft.
Yeah, certainly a big late game advantage to Virtus Pro, so Team Secret are going to have to play this a lot more aggressively, perhaps more aggressively than they're used to. You can see already S4 getting some free shots against DK Phobos. He does secure the bounty rune, and so too does God grab the bounty rune for his silencer. So VP already with a great start there, especially with Lil doing some body blocking. What about this mid matchup? Templar Assassin versus Silencer. Is this going to be like a couple levels in Curse of the Silent just to try and put some pressure on that refraction?
I don't think so. You can grab 1 or 2 levels, but I just feel like maxing the Glaives of Wisdom is so strong, which he's going to go for right now. The attack speed on Silencer is actually quite good, but